Good evening. Thank you, Benj, Grant, for joining me in the launch of the new challenge that starts next week. And actually, thank you for sharing my birthday and spending
Yeah.
time with me.
Happy birthday!
Yes. Happy
Yes,
birthday.
I remember it was just like exactly a year ago when I launched my first challenge, which was all about actually finding out what I carry. And I share that with many. Like, it is amazing to give away a process, give access to how to futurize, which is normally like reserved for a few people. And this process that I will share through the challenge is definitely going to impact many. And looking back to last year, the feedback I received, and that really helped me to grow in this. So I'm really excited to. It's not the second challenge, actually, it is the fifth one, but it's definitely the second birthday challenge, and that's always great to do something special. And so, what about you guys? Like, we've been running the Pioneer and the Innovator and the Futurist series, and but you also have joined previous challenges. So, are you excited as well, or is it just me?
I'm intrigued as to what pain you're going to put us through this time, and the challenges that we're gonna have to get around. But yeah, look, it's exciting. I think I've done. Is it two with you? I can't remember now. Um, and yeah, they've been both fantastic. So really looking forward to it and being on with other people as well, getting to meet new people. Benj, what about you?
So, you know what, Ariane? I think your challenges are amazing for helping people to discover stuff that's already inside them and unlock them. And the way that you've run the challenges in the past has just accelerated stuff for people. And I absolutely love that. It's hard
Yeah.
work, it's 5 days, but the results are just amazing. So I'm really excited, one, for what I might get out of it, but also like Grant, like you say, new people, but to see more people kind of get woken up and get activated and to really move ahead and discover something about their future and work it out, realign it, whatever you want to call it, but move forwards. I want to be moving forward with other people. It's boring on your own.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and I definitely agree with that. Like, sharing it with other people, and actually, we need other people, and that is such a crazy thing because actually, it is about being vulnerable, and it's about finding new language. And the hard lesson I had to learn over the like last 5 6 years was really that my language makes or breaks the whole thing around the future. And when I use language from yesterday, I will just repeat yesterday. And we all know those settings, and let's not put it projected on ourselves, but we know someone in a meeting that always has the same rhetoric, same cliches. And but if you're honest, we all have that. We keep on using language from the past, and that repeats the past. And and we keep
Yeah.
and we use today's language, but actually that confirms what's happening. Well, I ask myself, and actually it's not the question, I have the answer as well, but the main question is, what if I find language that is actually connected to tomorrow and I start using that? Then it will create something that's currently not yet here. And but that journey of finding that language is one where you need to be surrounded by peers. And with peers, I means like people that are in the same stage and are willing to give you feedback, pushback, and are not offended that you change your language the day after tomorrow. because that is the nature of it. Finding the language, you think, nah, what I said last week, it needs to be something different. And that iterative process needs a safe place. And that's definitely what I wanted to do in the challenge as well. Create a safe place. And in this safe place, I'll give people the opportunity to actually process it and receive feedback from peers. And like I always said, like, I'm not the mastery, I'm the host. And maybe I'm half a step ahead of you, but I'm definitely not a mile ahead of you. And I never want to be a mile ahead of the people that I do this process with, for the one simple reason. I need people that actually understand me and have no stake in what I'm doing, which is a bit of a contradiction. But, well, you've experienced this in the previous challenges. Actually, it creates that safe place of growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I thought is to I just start some kind of it's not a presentation, but I really want to introduce a bit the concept of what is that strange thing like futurizing. Is it similar than strategizing? And why do I need to do it personally? And tomorrow we have a second introduction session where we go same time, same channel, and we go a little bit deeper into why do I need to know my preferred future? And so if technology supports me, it should take over. So I've got a new fancy tool for this challenge. And so what I hear all day long actually is that everyone talks about going back to normal. And going back to normal is such a strange phrase when you think of that. Actually, going back is gone. Like, it means going back in time. And that's what happens when people are fighting a crisis. And those close to me, I've told them many times, it's not about fighting a crisis and trying to go back to normal. No, it's actually embracing chaos and start to see the invitation of growth in the midst of chaos. So in this dynamic, it's like the status quo, our current situation. And through the whole COVID-19 stuff, people keep talking about going back to normal, which actually means that we go back to March 2020 and get life, grab life at that moment, and just ignore that we had a whole year in between, which is not possible, of course. And then there's the future quo, which is actually a new normal, a new status quo. And what we need to do is actually go first to the preferred future. And the reason we go first to the preferred future is that with forecasting, which is a business terminology, what we always do, we make a plan. And actually, it's what we do with the goal setting, like the New Year's resolutions. That forecasting is based on experience, on budget, and actually the future doesn't guarantee that you use the same skills, you use the same experience. Actually, it holds something new. It is an invitation for development. So forecasting is actually not helping us to get our future quo clear. And we want to have our future quo clear in such a level, not a detailed level, but in such a level that we actually can adjust our actions. Like I said, it's realign your future. It mainly means like, how do I realign my actions, my strategies? Because probably last 12 months, all my plans didn't work out, but I still have the same goal. So how does that work with futurizing? Well, futurizing actually works the other way around. We first do what we call time traveling. We go into the future and we backcast from that perspective where we want to be in about a year. And in this backcasting exercise, we do not limit ourselves to a level of understanding, and we do not limit us to our skills, our competence. Actually, we first define what we want to get. And that's a fascinating journey, because then there is probably a gap between the now and the future quo. And maybe you've heard this before, but this gap between the now, the status quo, and the future quo, we sometimes refer to as the valley of tears. And you, Grant, already said, I'm excited what level of pain you will put us through. But this valley of tears, well, if you just remember from, maybe you have to go back all the way to school, but if you draw a circle and you just only moved to the right, you end up in this kind of shape. And actually, this is what happens with life when you've got ups and downs, and you go up and down, and you end up in this kind of shape. And it's a clean model that actually tells a lot about what we do. And like with all the models, it could just help us to understand what stage we are in. Like the model is not predicting anything, but if you go through the model and you know your future quo, which is probably around your goals, your sense of assignment, calling, and then the status quo, well, probably you have dreams as well and passions. Well, those dreams are very fascinating because when we look at that, actually the first stage of development is always the dream stage. And then we find out that actually reality is quite hard and we end up in a despair phase. Well, then we start to develop. And at the end, it should demonstrate. And demonstration is really like currently like I dream of it and now it's happening. It becomes tangible, it becomes physical. But what you see in this valley going all the way, maybe rock bottom, is that you have to go through the despair. So what is happening in that despair? Well, first of all, it's the end of a stage which we call the competent stage. So we have a competent stage and we have an incompetent stage. Funny way, because we also have an unconscious and a conscious stage, or you would more like a quadrant. And we are very conscious when we are in despair, but the dreaming is actually quite unconscious. Most of the dreams happen during the night, but the dreams is also like this fuel inside of hope. The demonstration is also not a conscious state, because actually then it becomes your new normal, your new nature, and you start to just move in how you have developed. Well, going to just make it plain and simple, we could say there is a zone in life of the incompetence and there is a zone of life of the competence. There are more zones behind the competence, because then we can also grow all the way to a zone of being a genius, which simply means that you are seen as the authority that just lives and breathes what you're all about. But before you go through this zone of incompetence, to get to the bottom, to actually find your source, and we talk a lot in the futurizing about the source of life and your inner voice. And I'm not saying what that should be for you. I'm just saying like you would really benefit if you know how your inner voice sounds and you know what your source of life is, because actually that's the place where you go from incompetence to the development stage. That's also where this future identity that is actually connected to your future circumstances actually is born, is discovered. But before you get there is this ugly road down. And I just use let go, but actually it means you get frustrated because what you dream of is not going to happen. It becomes really painful. It's really nagging that it's not working. And then there is the moment you have to let go. And in psychology, they just talk about it's like dying. And actually, what is it? It's dying of yourself. And what is dying of yourself is actually letting go what your ego promotes. And I will talk a lot about ego in the challenge, because your ego is a very good part of you. And it promotes actually what went well in your past, in your history. So the moment you get into a setting where you're confronted with something you have been confronted before, then your ego remembers you what you could do. It's the same with critical thinking. It's really valuable. Like, it would be stupid to discover returning things over and over again as if it would be new. But on the other hand, there are also new things. The future is one of them. It's about new knowledge, new understanding, new layers, new competences. So actually, the promoting part of your ego is not serving you in this one. So actually, you have to let go. It's like going to your LinkedIn profile and seeing this amazing award you received. You want to keep it on your LinkedIn profile because you're so proud of it, but it doesn't contribute or give a message about something around your future. Well, in that case, why is it on there? It's not, if it's not supporting you in where you are going right now, then don't take it with you. It's just luggage, a burden, I would say. And this is the easy one because every time I go through my LinkedIn profile, I get to that line and I think, I'm so proud of it. It has nothing to do with what I currently do, but I'm so proud of it. So let's leave it on. Well, I always think, oh, that's my ego. Or updating your website. And you think that phrase, that paragraph, that is really good, that well written. If I'm honest, it was hard work, and it's nothing saying about what I'm currently doing. But let's skip it. Leave it on next time. That battle is normal fact of life. The next side of the other side is actually when you let it go, you can rise and shine out of your future identity in something new. And then you start to be grateful for what you have, what is happening, what happened in the past. Like today, I had a very good conversation with one of my peers, and it was really like, okay, what I've done in the past, I have no clue in what format it will contribute to my future. It made me who I am. I'm probably not going to do it again in the future in the way I did it in the past, but I'm grateful for it. So I just leave it as a piece of the puzzle, ready to demonstrate in the future in a total new different style, format, new way of application. And at the end, it is about manifesting it and being intentional. It's about focus. But also, you've made it, you've made this curve, and you're probably ready for the next, what we call valley of incompetence. And you hear a lot the word, and I took it off, but I had it on it. In front of goals was the word upgrade. You hear it a lot. And when I hear upgrade or promotion, I always think, oh no, another valley of dying of myself and learning new competences. I love the end result. I probably will get through it. I probably will jump into it. But the thought of being again through this process, it's just not comfortable. So to go from status quo to your preferred future perspective is the first step. And that's what I want to get you through in this 5-day challenge, which will be about time traveling. This is nothing spooky. Actually, it's very close to using just your senses, including your gut feeling and your intuitive side. And it will be worth it. And it will be a good race. It will be exciting. So I really just want to invite you all to just join it and test it and try it. Like, it's for free. It's a gift. I will tell you more in a minute about what the gift looks like that I want to give you for birthday. And I heard it years ago. Someone was at his birthday giving everyone a gift. And I thought, actually, that sounds cool. But to be honest, ask my family. Today I was not really around to have my birthday. I was preparing for tonight and next week. But I'm looking forward to just share it.
It's good.
Yeah, I think like this, and you've done it before, like this shift in perspective is a very good step. It's the first time quite hard. There's new language involved, but there is a moment it just clicks, and that's what I really want to give to the participants, that they could repeat it over and over again. That next year, when they should set their goals, that actually they can apply it. So it's really my desire to equip people to do it and help them the first time. Love to host and facilitate the second time, the third time, and like you both said, you jump in the challenge again, like every half year, refresh it. It's just good part of being strategic.
I was talking to my wife last night just about life, and we were talking about the valleys and the troughs, and she quoted this quote that she'd read somewhere. I can't remember where, so apologies for that, but it was really interesting. It really made me think. She said this person had said that the decisions and the habits that we're forced to make when we're in the valley are actually the ones that are the really good ones, that really make the difference, that enable us to climb out and strive towards our future. And the decisions and the habits that we sometimes get lazy with when we're on the top of the mountain are actually the ones that cause us the biggest trouble. And often we look at things the other way around, like, I've heard people say in the past, oh, don't make a decision, don't make a major decision when you're in a time of crisis or something. But actually, I think especially when you're talking about habits that will have a long-term reward or harvest, when you're forced to make them because of circumstances, because you're out of your zone of competence, because you're in a valley of tears and desperate, actually you really dig deep. And I think that's kind of what exciting about this challenge is. When I've done it in the past, it's a helpful view to the other side of the valley to refocus your eyes on where we're heading, and therefore the hard stuff that you've got to go through to climb out the other side is worth it. And that dual perspective, I think you touched on them. So one is where I want to go, what I know my future quo is, but also that connection at the bottom of the valley, the hard graft connection to your source of life, and somehow living in the tension between those two bits. That's where I want to keep and be and come back to, because of the gold that you find down there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like, and conceptually, it makes so much more sense that in the depths of crisis, or at the bottom of the valley, you're so conscious, and you're conscious that actually it's not part of your current standard skill set, so you have to develop new skills. Then you are in the process of those new skills, but they are not like automated, they're not yet routine, they're not a habit.
You got to bake them in.
They become a habit, then actually you start to see fruit from it. You see results. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah, I just received some comments through Facebook and through the YouTube feed, and I got, oh no, not another valley of dying to myself. Yeah, be ready. And actually, it's not a hobby. It will never be a hobby, but the experience of what it brings is worth the investment. And Raymond, Raymond, you are one of the first hour, and like you said, it's your 5th challenge. So one day I'm looking forward to join yours. No pressure. And so for all others that watch and just leave your comments, ask your questions. Also, if you watch it afterwards, and so I can show the program. I think that's worth it, and I don't have to spend my whole birthday online. So I'll definitely move on and just seeing where are the tools. So what's the planning? Well, the planning is to actually start on Monday. So we have this launch party. We have a pre-session tomorrow, but that's not necessary to follow. It just gives you a little bit more context. So if you're interested and you also want to get into it, then definitely be around tomorrow. We're going to do the challenge through the Zoom sessions because I want interaction with all the participants. We will stream it to a closed Facebook group. We will not be streaming it to YouTube because I really want to create a safe place for people to participate and give their honest, vulnerable input without being everywhere. So we will use a closed Facebook group. If there is demand, we also will create a closed LinkedIn group for people to share what I'm going to show you in a minute, but that will only be on demand because the majority of the people use Facebook. And I'm totally aware that it differs from country to country using Facebook. Like I know friends from countries that say, well, Facebook is dying. Other countries say, well, Facebook, what is it? And other countries say, well, Facebook is growing. So whatever you feel comfortable about, fine by me. The timing of will be every day the same, except one day. I will show you that in a minute. So each session will start with me looking backwards to yesterday, which of course on Monday, Thursday doesn't make much sense. So we will look. I will give you the essential feedback parts to frame the whole week. Then we will look also the second day to the fourth day. We will be looking to the homework. So it's a challenge. So the work needs to be done by not just the presentation and the presenter. It has to be done by you. Like it's your challenge. And every day, new step, new topic. And we close the day with a new assignment. And so I think assignment is a better word than homework because actually I'll give you an assignment, but it's up to you and the accountability is to yourself how you're going to do it and whatever you want to process with it and how you want to continue with it. I invite you to use your creative tools. Your creative tools, which means could be a sketchbook, could be a mind map, could be a vision board, and some use the Lego Serious Play method. And I'm a huge fan of that one because then I can use another part of my thinking in my head to actually surprise me and reveal new kind of things. Every day, I ask you to do verbal processing. Like seeing is believing. That's what's happening with the creative tools. It will come in front of you and you start believing it because you see it. The verbal processing helps you to really discover new language. And it gives you the possibility when you upload that to the private group, and this is why we use this Facebook group. Just use your camera. Maybe it's for you the first time and maybe you're used to it, but just process it because hearing yourself, putting it into words is the secret. That's where your big breakthrough, that's where your discovery starts to happen. Secondly, you get comments and feedback from the other people in the challenge because they recognize parts of it in their own journey, or they give you maybe a free advice, or maybe they will ask you a question. That is the level of peer interaction that really makes the challenge huge value in your personal development. So please, if that's the first time, watch a few, and just do it. Just go through it. So there's always a bonus session. And normally it's one of the marketing techniques around the challenge. I throw in a few bonus sessions at the end, and then people say, well, I wish I knew I could block my agenda. So I'm not doing the formula, but I just tell you, like, yeah, tomorrow we'll have a session. I mentioned that. And I will go deeper into why it's so crucial to know your preferred future if you want to realign your future. At the end, I will go deeper into why it's so important that you start developing new type of language. So how do you move from being a noise that sometimes is people listen to a sound that is invited to contribute, to a voice of influence that's actually giving an expression to what you carry, both in value and in message. So I will do that at the closing end. That's also like the closing Q&A we do together. But it's also today my birthday. So like I said before, I give you free access to the live sessions, to the futurizing process, replays, the bonus sessions, and the peer-to-peer interaction, both in the live sessions and in the closed groups. But I want to do something more, and that's actually, I want to give an extra training, which I'm going to do on Tuesday in the afternoon, so it will not break the flow of the challenge. But I want to give you a training of about an hour through Zoom, how you can use creative thinking tools like Lego to actually start to get into that routine of revealing something new to yourself, the interpretation of what you see, and how you can apply it. And this is for those who have done the challenge before, those who I know out of this creative thinking boardroom tool, it's a huge benefit. So I thought I'll just do it 1 hour training where I help you to actually get into that routine of revealing something new to yourself, that is, you think outside of the box. And yesterday with Grant, we had our monthly conversation, and Grant quoted someone, and now I forgot the name, but like because I always say, like, it's not thinking outside of the box, it's thinking without a box. And Grant added to it, but if you stand on your box, you have a higher perspective. And that's what I really want to equip you with. So feel free, no pressure. Just grab some random Lego bricks, some different models, shapes, etc. And we have a great time. And then for the first 15 people that sign up for the challenge through this link, thefuturechallenge.com, and I just see the date of registration, I want to give 1 hour reflection, which means we have a one-on-one session afterwards where we just process what the results are of this challenge, and where I can give you some help, some hints how to take it to the next level and how to move on. And so I just want to give that. I think that's the biggest bonus. It's valuable time, both from you and from me. So I really, that's why I can't give 30 seats away, because simply, like, I will do it myself. I will not hire someone else to do it. And so I can block 15 hours for this, and I really hope that you will use this one. So for people that sign up but didn't do the whole challenge, it doesn't make sense. So I give myself that freedom to really only apply it to those who finished the challenge. I hope you see that as a fair thing. So that's actually all I wanted to say. Did I forget anything, my friends?
No, looking forward to it. It should be
Give me a
fantastic.
hard time. Come on.
No, I don't think you missed anything. I think, for people listening to this, just jump in. It's free. You've got absolutely nothing to lose other than some of your valuable heartbeats, and what you will gain will be fantastic. And if you know other people who'll value from it, who you want to be part of your journey, who you want to be peers and do it with you, tell them, get them along. The more people on, the more benefits, the more perspectives, the more feedback, the more we'll all gain from it. So share it, tell people, come and join it. Really looking forward to journeying with you if you're going to jump in. Yeah.
When I did the first challenge, I didn't know what to expect, and I went in it with just an open mind of what I would get out of it and possibly learn from it, and it really stretched me. And I think if we're going to grow and develop as individuals, as human beings, if we're going to continue to discover our full potential, we need to be stretched. And this is one of the programs that will enable you to do that. We learn more about ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses. We learn more about what we have creatively in us. And Yuan sort of teases that out of us. And I think that's an exceptional gift. And those that are signing up will really benefit from this. It will be a fantastic week. And as we said, meeting new people, getting to hear people's stories. And as Raymond has put on the chat, it is a safe place. And nothing you share or nothing we share, there is no laughter about, there's no scorn, there's no ridicule. It's such a wonderful environment to be in, where you can just be yourself and express yourself. And everything that we do creatively, when it comes when it comes out, I can't even get the word out, when it comes out, is embraced. So that, I think that's really important, and it's a cracking week, and it's going to stretch. And I just love the analogy that Benj gave about the valley. And actually, so often we want to get out of that valley too quickly. There is so much goodness in that valley. That's where plants thrive. If you are looking at a traditional mountain with a valley running through it, it's lush, it's green. And too often we want to get out of that valley too quickly. But there is so much good stuff, so many things we can learn, and how we can grow and develop whilst we're in that place of pain, that will help us for the future and to grow.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah. Well, I will just want to finish by thanking you, Grant and Benj, for sharing these your experience and endorsing this challenge. I'm really looking forward to run this challenge. So I invite everyone to just use that link, thefuturechallenge.com. It's just leaving your email address, your name, and you get to the page with the latest details, and which will give you access to the Facebook group, will give you access to the Zoom link, and just do this. You deserve it, and it's really worth it. So if there's anyone around you that feels stuck or feels super excited but have no clue what the next step is, embraces midlife as an invitation, but experiencing the chaos. Someone who started a business but is overwhelmed by all these things that need to do, or you have maybe like 4 different adventures and have no clue what priority is. And I'm just describing life. So everyone that is actually living, just forward it to them and give them the opportunity to check if this is worth it as an investment in themselves. So I want to thank you, everyone who watched live and everyone who watched the replays. And I'm looking forward to do tomorrow the second session and start on Monday. Well, thank you, and have a great evening or the rest of your day when you watch from the US. So, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Enjoy your birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you.